I scored a 524 on the MCAT. Let me show you how I answer questions.
Question 6. The following reaction occurs spontaneously. Cadmium, solid cadmium, reacts with 2 protons to produce cadmium cation plus hydrogen gas. Which of the following has the highest electron affinity? Okay. So what we have to recognize here is that cadmium goes from a 0 oxidation state to a 2+ oxidation state. So it's actually getting oxidized, which means that the protons have to be getting reduced, right? So let's actually break this reaction into 2 half reactions. Right? And specifically, we need to draw the 2 reduction half reactions of the 2 species involved here. So the reduction half reaction for cadmium is actually going to be that cadmium 2+ reacts with 2 electrons to form solid cadmium metal. It's reduced. And we're going to say that this reaction has a reducing potential for CD. Okay, it has some sort of reduction potential. We don't know what it is, and it doesn't matter here. And then the other half reaction is going to be that 2 protons react with 2 electrons basically to produce hydrogen gas. It's getting reduced, right? And this also has a certain reduction potential for H+, let's say. So what we need to remember from electrochemistry is that when you're comparing 2 reducing half reactions to determine if these 2 species reacted, which one would actually get reduced and which one would get oxidized, we basically just have to look at their relative reduction potentials, and the one that has a more positive reduction potential is going to be the stronger oxidizing agent. In other words, it's going to be the one that more strongly pulls on electrons and is more likely to get reduced. Or in other words, it has a higher electron affinity. Now, they already gave us the full reaction, and they said that this reaction occurs spontaneously. For a oxidation reduction reaction to occur spontaneously, the species that has a higher reducing potential has to be the one getting reduced, whereas the one that has a lower reduction potential has to be the one that's getting oxidized, right? So the cadmium here, since it's the one that's actually getting oxidized, it has to have a lower reduction potential than the protons, right? So we can actually say that for this reaction, okay, these 2 half reactions rather, the reducing potential of the protons has to be greater than the reducing potential or the reduction potential of cadmium, okay, for them to then combine into the spontaneous reaction, okay? So the one that has a higher electron affinity, well, it has to be B.